Hey, what's going on, ladies and gentlemen? My name is Quarbit, and welcome back to the 5th episode of our Succession Crisis campaign. Last time we got a lot done on Tupinicum, which we can't see right now, and we got relatively little done on Tsang. If you're new around here, I recommend going back and watching a couple of the previous ones, although it's not necessary to continue. Or if you've been around for a little while and you haven't subscribed yet, then I recommend going ahead and doing that. It takes 3 seconds and it is a massive help. Also, same as last time, if we could aim for 500 likes, that would be fantastic. So let's check out where we're off to first. Oh yeah. Oh no. Not sure what I was expecting, but it certainly wasn't the Egyptians in Greece. Okay, let me break this down. So we're at war with the Mamluks, who want a couple of our provinces. We are also very nearly bankrupt. We have 3,000 men left who are doing I don't even know what. The Commonwealth is not helping us, and overall we're not having a good time. So first order of business is definitely going to be piecing out the Mamluks. They can have just about anything they want. Of course, I'm not going to be giving them any of my land. Who do you think I am? Instead, we'll just give some stuff back to Hungary and that'll be okay. Now, the next problem is that looming bankruptcy, but now that we have been restored, no longer fully occupied, that might solve itself a little bit. Or we'll immediately go bankrupt. We'll find out. Okay, not bankrupt. That's a good start. But we are in a ton of debt. All of my land is devastated. I have no army. My ships are really bad. And, my allies are not strong enough to keep me safe. At least we have our Basilius Dionysos, which happens to be a strict zealot. Well, if I try hard enough, I might be able to ally Bohemia and try to attack Hungary. And as for our idea picks, these kinda suck. Don't know why you'd pick administrative first, like, ever. But you know, diplomatic is, yeah, it's pretty alright. We're also massively behind on admin, and our Basilius isn't really good at that whole thing. So the economy sucks, the forts need to stay up to get rid of the devastation, our army's pretty bad. Wow, this is really bad. If there is one bright side, I do get a full 15-year truce before the Mamluks come knocking again. So I'm gonna have to try my hardest to fix the country by then. Our debt problem is gonna pile up high if I don't do anything about it, so I'm gonna put myself in debt to the burghers. These loans are better versions because they cost less interest per month, so I can actually go ahead and repay some of the old ones. Lucky for us, it looks like Hungary's actually becoming rather weak with Bohemia invading him, so hopefully soon enough I can use him as a sort of bank. Also, when it comes to the roleplay aspects, it would sort of make sense that our ruler would be into these two things here. First of all, enforce unity of faith, but also the expansionist zealotry. And being strict would cause us to try and take fewer loans, but no matter how strict you are, you can't deny how terrible our economy really is. So sometimes it's a bit of a necessity. Okay, finally time to fix a little bit of that corruption. And our ruler is first and foremost strict, so he will be the kind of person to try and improve the quality of his army. Otherwise, I definitely would have gone with religious. Okay, so Bohemia's getting their butts kicked. I think I'm gonna walk into Hungary once they're done with that whole thing. And can you believe it? Positive income. Finally. It only took like 5 years and a miracle. Okay, we can start our quality ideas with some infantry combat ability. And there's no time like the present. So I'll go ahead and try to occupy everything that I want to take on this side. And then I'll go ahead and call in the Commonwealth. Okay, now we're here, so we'll call them in on the promise of land. Who knows if they'll actually get anything? They might. What are they gonna do? Be angry? It's not like they were gonna save me from the Mamluks anyway. Go ahead, be angry. It's not going to undoom my country. Alright, that's 2 forts down. And the third one. And there we go. That's the last fort. And rip Pope, man. Okay, now we can get Corfu out. Ah, damn it, I forgot about that mechanic. Even though Corfu is now neutral, they're not gonna let me cross, even while I have military access. Which I think is dumb, but it's how things work. Okay, the Pope is pretty close to leaving. I'm actually going to let the Commonwealth occupy this. Because no matter how you look at this, it is impossible for me to finish this mission. Not while the Commonwealth already owns part of it. So now we can get the Pope out. Now the Commonwealth wants to be super greedy, but I think I am actually going to give them this one province back. Even if there's a really small chance of surviving the next Mamluk invasion, I would rather have the Commonwealth get a clear-cut path towards it. Now personally, I'm more interested in this stuff over here because there's a gold mine in Kosovo. But also, if I took any more ducats in this peace deal, I would basically just be getting robbed. So this is what it's gonna look like. Now, while I wasn't paying attention, it looks like Karaman went ahead and grabbed my rightful land here. But they're also allied with the Mamluks, so there's nothing I can do about that. On the bright side, the Ottomans are weak as ever, and oh look, guess who guarantees them? Alright, here we go again. Now, the great thing right about now is that, my enemies are currently bankrupt, which means even me, one of the weakest countries still in existence, can easily beat them up, because they literally can't afford to stop me. Now, Hungary is getting utterly dismantled by all of his neighbors, but in reality, I'm not even asking for that much. Just a little bit of money, maybe some war reps, and a couple of extra provinces is fine. Alright, there goes the last real Ottoman fort, and then the capital. Now all that's left to deal with is Hungary himself. Ooh, that's painful. Things were just starting to look up. And man, I would have been able to get the money too. That would have been so helpful. Oh well, what can you do, right? Kinda sucks that we only got to play like 10 years though. I was hoping for a little bit longer since he was only like 34. But as far as I'm concerned, Byzantium's kind of a doomed nation anyway. I think the Mamluks are gonna end up eating them in the next 10 years anyway, so... Well, at least I gave it a shot. But I think there's still enough time left to try out one more nation, so let's see who we get next. And we get Segu. I don't think I've ever even seen this tag. Where even am I? Oh, right over here. Yeah, this should be fun. Our king here is a 342, and he's greedy, which means I'm going to have to demand every possible amount of gold in a peace deal before I consider taking land. Considering our situation, I don't think we'll be taking land in the first place. Especially since we are a fetishist country surrounded by Sunni nations, while the Mamluks are the defender of the faith. And because none of my land is Sunni, I actually can't convert to Sunni either. That basically gives us a big fat 0 things to do. This is one of those times I feel rather defeated. There's really just nothing to do. Well, if there's one thing, and I mean quite literally a single possible thing I could do, it would be to no CB on Benin and try to figure something out, I guess. But that's literally all I've got. And away we go. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention the ideas. So we're defensive, which will be useless because we just have a single province, and espionage is also not going to help us at all. The only helpful thing I could really think of right now could possibly be economic, or maybe quantity. But in any case, I'm going to be swapping that out for something. Yeah, probably economic. It's not like we'll be using our admin to core anything, so... What am I doing with my life? Okay, I know this is pointless, but I have to believe that there is something more than just sitting there. There has to be something else I can do. I don't know what, but it's gotta be something. Something here's not quite right. Something here shouldn't really be allowed. Don't like that. Don't like that at all. Oh hey, that's actually quite a lot more men. And that also means I can improve my capital a little bit. Oh yeah, I'm also definitely going to be killing off this heir. Look at this guy. Yeah, I don't think so. Now this guy is looking a lot better. Okay, now back to my loitering, you know, no particular reason to be here, of course. Yeah, psych. You fools, this entire time I was planning an exodus all along. Okay, let's get that first ally out. And boom. Step 1 of the exodus is complete. And step 2 is just about to begin. Okay, so we can get Bunyoro out for 21 ducats. And I'll hire the free company back home. Now I have to send these guys all the way back to a friendly province. And then all the way back across. So I can go and get Karagwe out. There we go. And then I just have to wait for these guys to finish sieging. And there you have it, ladies and gentlemen, the legendary Exodus. Okay, now I have literally no idea what to do from here on out. To be honest, didn't think I'd get this far. But I guess I just sort of live here now. I wish I could expand further, but the biggest problem is that Kikonja is a pretty big power here with their personal union over Congo, and they're also fetishist, which means they've been getting a lot of AE around here. So if nothing else, I guess I wait. I guess the best I could do right now is just wait until one of these truces is up and then attack again. Actually, if I go ahead and ally Kikonja and Royal Marry him, there's pretty much no reason why I couldn't just keep attacking. After all, why not? Why should I stop conquering? Don't mind if I just... yoink? I'm just gonna take a loan or two and repay off some of the older ones. And of course, we push forward. And you thought CK3 was the only game that lets you do great adventures. And a yoink, and yoink. Okay, now that that's all over with, I just have to ask, why am I allowed to do this? Doesn't this seem like it should be very illegal? I just skipped half a continent to continue living through minimal effort. It is unreasonable to still be alive at this point. Now my next plan, when I follow up on all of this, is to move my capital and, if we can, also invade Buha for the last time. But I might have a couple of rebels to deal with first. Okay, dealt with all those rebels. Oh really? Now you're gonna give me a Sunni province? That would have been convenient a lot sooner. I'll hold on to that though, I'm not sure what I'm gonna do with it. In any case, it's time to finish off uniting the region. And I'm just gonna go ahead and state up the rest of this stuff there. And here we finally are. All loans repaid, the region has been united, and of course I will promote a couple of cultures, and I'll reduce a little bit of autonomy. This will allow me to finish the very last thing I want to do with this ruler, and that is to spawn the printing press. We couldn't do it previously before because, well, we just didn't really have enough devs surrounding the capital. But now with our capital in Uganda, we have plenty of room for deving. So, let's get started. There we go, our capital is now 38 development, well within the bounds of our surrounding provinces. And it has the printing press. I can also afford to hire a couple of advisors, so let's do that. Now, I don't exactly remember where we started, but I think we were somewhere down here when we began. And then at this point was when we got that second province, and then we slowly started going up. That makes us about as economically rich as, well, England. Though it doesn't look like England's having a particularly good time. In any case, I've done pretty much all that I wanted to here. I'm not even sure what else to do. Oh, and wouldn't you know it, the Mamluks are no longer the defender of the Sunni faith. So theoretically, we could even go back home and start to conquer something else. After all, Benin has a couple of cores still, and Katsina has become rather weak. We're heading back home, boys. Okay, now this is just getting ridiculous. He's 60 years old now. This man has done more than enough. Let him rest. Oh no, it can't be. Is that a second Exodus? Oh, I love this game so much. Now at this point, it's looking pretty convincingly that we're done with Segu here. I mean, we have Exodus to Central Africa, conquered the whole place, went back to West Africa. Surely there's nothing else we could do, right? Ah, you poor soul. You'd wish. I think our very tolerant leader would approve of picking up some humanist ideas along the way. And there we have it. A new vassal in Ethiopia who has plenty of cores to reconquer. Unfortunately, I don't believe we are yet strong enough to take on Kaffa and his ally, so let's fix that. There we go. Now that's a proper sized army if I do say so myself. Now let's come to the aid of our poor little vassal. And there goes the army. Ah, there we go. The only problem is that I now have to go all the way back home. And then I have to go back. Okay, now I've occupied just about everything I can. So it's time to head back home and fix this mess. Whew, that took a long time. Well, we at least got half of the objective. Personally, I'm more just surprised that the king is still alive. He's been around since like the age of 25 maybe? Oh, but finally it's over. Take a good hard look. This is probably the best I'm gonna do on any single country in this entire campaign. I don't know if it gets better than this. I sincerely hope so, but I think I may have peaked for this campaign so far. So, a quick recap, we started off as a single province over here in West Africa, surrounded by nations I couldn't attack. Now, I have 2 vassals of relatively similar sizes, land in West Africa in 2 places. I own all of the land in this region of Central Africa, and more importantly, there's still stuff that can be done in East Africa. But yeah, this took about twice as long as normal to record, so if you really did enjoy it, then leaving a like would be super appreciated. I really hope we'll get another nation that will allow us to do something nearly as cool as this. But of course, for now, this is Quarbit signing off, and as always, have a fantastic day. Of course, I'd like to give a special thank you to all the people over on Patreon for the month of April. Starting with those we have in the General tier: Quiet Guy, Brendan Arsenault, Ben Greenhagen, Torvald, Dire Avenger, and Farron. Those in the Prince tier: Snow Raven, Rockbox 2020, and Robert Caleno. Those in the King tier: Chewy Shoot and Natsuki. In the Elector tier: TFLJ Martis. And in the Conqueror of Worlds tier: The Watcher. Thank you guys so much for your pledges this month, it means a lot to me.